So again, they cut our piece down. It shows us doing the wrestling and the big bumps and the slams. And these guys are, it goes back to their reactions where they're looking at this and going, are we supposed to do this? And they have a laugh about it. And then, no, but we're going to end up working with former WWE superstar and, and champion and Diamond Dallas Page. So again, the reason we were a part of the show is to correlate that to Diamond Dallas Page, the former pro wrestler and WWE Hall of Famer that was going to have them do yoga as their calorie burning exercise. So they didn't quite get in the ring. They weren't, doing too much with us as far as that was concerned, but they were certainly watching all of it. We certainly recorded it, as live can be as far as their reactions were, concerned, and they were in the room and it wasn't overcomplicated to that extent. But that's what you saw. So when you go back and you watch the episode, if you wanted to watch the episode, it's available to fans on Amazon Prime. If you're a subscriber through Amazon Prime, you can check that out. That's Fluffy Breaks Even, Season 1, Episode 5, and it's titled San Diego. That's where they had their food. But here's what you didn't see. So again, 2015, about the springtime, we get this call, and again, it's this slim crew of about 4 or 5 guys and the promoter of SoCal Pro. He opens up his small training school, which at the time was a daycare room in a gym, or like not a daycare room, but it was when an adult would go to the gym and they would bring their kids and they would get checked in. That's where the room was, and it had just enough space for a ring, and you could fit, probably about 50 chairs in there if you really wanted to sardine it. And we did training out of there for a handful of years before we ended up relocating to a larger space. And I say we, SoCal Pro, ended up, relocating to a larger space that accommodates more fans. Um, but at the time, it was tight quarters. So again, there wasn't really much room for a huge lighting rig or a big production team to fit in there. So when we come in there, and we were really, as the wrestlers, given vague, broad, and general terms about what we were there to record and what the whole premise of the show was and the whole idea there. So we show up there, with our gear, kind of just planning to run through some training spots, and we get the opportunity, the guys, the wrestlers, before the cameras are set up, and as we're, waiting Fluffy and the gang to show up, where we kind of talk about, what we, want to do. And I can remember looking back now, it's hilarious to think about, but it was like, man, I was so uh strict about the idea of like, okay, we can't let them think that this is fake. We gotta, if they get in the ring, we gotta